Greetings, YouTube. Today I'd like to talk about Opinel knives. This isn't a review so much as a discussion of Opinel as a manufacturer and their product. Now, a friend of mine gave me an Opinel number 6 for my birthday in September of 2023. And to me, Opinel is one of the quintessential knives of the world. And to give you an example of how much the world agrees with me, the back blurb is in 14 languages. Okay, and English, here we go, which is number 2 after French. That kind of makes sense. Pocket knife for outdoor activities, hiking, picnics, camping, etc. Varnished wooden handle, stainless steel blade. Now it says stainless steel. The traditional Opinel is made out of high carbon XC90, I think. And the handle is beechwood, which is the tradition. Let me turn that around so you can actually see the little Opinel logo both on the handle and on the blade, as well as their little symbol right there, which is also on the blade. Now, this is a company that's been around for 133 years. And to me, the number 6 is pretty much the quintessential Opinel. When I think of Opinel in my brain, I'm thinking of like the number 6. I have a number of different Opinel in my collection, some vintage, and then I even have a special edition model that my friend Amelia got for me, which has a handle which I think it's an exotic wood. I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but it's got a higher quality steel. And out of the box, this one came like it's usably sharp. Though I did notice there is a slight roll on the one side of the blade, which I haven't fixed it yet. I wanted to actually, I don't know why I wanted to keep it like this until I did the video, because there's no way you can see it because I can't see it either, but I can feel it. So that's something I'm going to have to fix. That I'll just take that on a diamond hone, and it'll be gone in a couple of swipes. And they actually sell a display model version of the Opinel, which is the handles like this. So the whole thing is like a meter long. It's amazing. I've seen one on a video. I've never seen one in person. I told my wife about it. She goes, "Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas." I laughed. If she could find one and get me one, that would be awesome. I don't know if you'd be able to do either. And the locking system on this is both beautifully simple and incredibly robust. So you've got 2 cylinders of metal, of steel. One cylinder is holding the whole thing together. It's the collar here that gives the whole knife some durability at this end, as opposed to just being plain wood as the rest of the handle is. Single piece, with a slot in the center, nicely chamfered, and both this face on the 2 corners, and a nice little flat at the bottom. It's very comfortable. And the outside is another sleeve, and the second sleeve turns on the first sleeve. There's a little groove in here. I believe that's for the screw that holds this thing together, so that this snaps onto that, if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure on that one. And you take it and you turn it, and now the slot is not quite at 90 degrees, but close, and absolute rock solid. Now, it does take 2 hands to lock that in place, which means in some places, because it has a nail nick, that would make it legal because it is a 2-handed open. You cannot open an Opinel. At least I have never been able to open an Opinel with one hand. I don't know anybody else that can do it, but maybe they can. You have to use 2 hands to open it, but it does have a locking blade, and that makes it illegal in some places. Some places require a knife to have to be opened with 2 hands, and they allow locking blades. Some places do not allow locking blades, but don't really care how you deploy the blade. So there's a lot of mixed feelings about that. I think it's kind of silly myself. I mean, like where I live, we have open carry for firearms. You can walk around with a firearm with, in public without any problems. So people wearing knives is not an issue where I live. In fact, I saw a guy at the grocery store wearing a fixed blade on his hip, and I didn't judge him for the fixed blade. You want to carry a fixed blade, cool. It wasn't an obnoxious size fixed blade, about a 4-inch blade. No, it was the fact that it was really low quality. I recognized it. It's like this, brandy, you buy it like Walmart or something. It was not a good quality. You're going to carry a fixed blade, man. Get something decent. No, this is just so incredibly beautiful. It is so simple. Beechwood, this lock, this blade, the classic shape, nail nick. It's just absolute simplicity in and of itself. There is a beauty to this that you don't find in a lot of knives. And I own a lot of knives. I even own, handmade, high quality knives. This is a really nice knife, okay? Um, and I own like high quality craft knives like this Olfa here. It's got a Kiradashi shaped blade. I own, in fact, if I were to like count them, I probably have a dozen knives within arm's reach of me at the moment. Okay, I like knives. I've got a lot of them. I play with them constantly, and I have a feel for them. Often when I own a knife, after I've purchased it, I will play with it for weeks on end. And eventually it gets put aside. Either I carry it every day or it gets put aside until I get a new knife. There's an imprinting process for me. There's this time frame when I'm touching and getting to know the blade in a very personal way, in a very muscle memory level. By the way, it wasn't a screw. I apologize. It's a rivet. I can see the rivet in there, and which makes sense. Rivet construction is very common in knives, particularly ones that aren't hugely expensive. And but I want to know what the knife feels like in every way. Whether I'm holding it, right hand, left hand, you're doing the silly reverse grip thing, which some people seem to really love. I know there are people who tell you that in knife fighting, the reverse grip is, the bee's knees, but I still think it's kind of silly looking. The knife has a point on it. I want the point pointing at whatever heck it is that I'm coming at, whether it's a rope or a person. But yeah, it's just so beautiful. It is so simple. It doesn't need anything else. And that is a thing of beauty. Now, I'm going to give you another example of this. I cannot pronounce this dude's name, but this is a puka. Okay, this particular puka was designed by a dude, again, whose name I cannot say. I've done a review with this one, and it is so beautiful that there is an example of this in the Museum of Fine Art in New York, because it is simply recognized as having a perfect aesthetic lines. And for me, the Opinel does too. It's a different purpose. It is different from that puka. But this is in the pockets of millions of people. And what I found astounding when I looked up the wiki today about this knife, I wanted to get how old the company was that they only have 160 employees. That's half the size of the company I work for. All right, and to think that 160 people produce knives like this for the entire world just astounds me. I got to tell you, I would be profoundly honored. Sometimes I keep getting that wrong. I would be profoundly honored to work for Opinel, but I live in the United States and I don't speak French, and I don't have any desire to move to France, though their healthcare system is awesome. So I love this company, and I'm really touched that my friend went to the trouble of getting me an Opinel number 6 for my birthday. And kind of a funny thing is I got the thing, and I after she got it for me, I handed it to me. I unwrapped it, and I said, "Now comes the great irony." I said, "The great irony is when you get a knife in a blister pack, you have to grab another knife to open up the first knife." So yeah, so I got my package opening knife out of the drawer, which is a Hyde retracting blade utility knife, because it only has a little bit sticks out, cuts beautifully, let go, knife blade snaps back in. So absolutely thrilled to have gotten this as a gift. I am thrilled to add it to my collection, and I will let me get this right, and I will keep this forever, because it's a knife my friend Felicia gave me. She was thoughtful about it. She went to the effort to look up a decent quality knife and get it for me. So that's important. That means that someone cares. They take that second, that extra effort. We gave her a vintage black jacket from like the 1950s because she's into vintage clothing. So that was her gift. Um, so yeah, awesome. I'm happy with this. I love Opinel. I have great respect for their design and for the company. I have never touched an Opinel that I didn't think was great. There's a slight burr on this, but I don't care. Like I said, swipe that on a diamond hone and you're done. So yeah, awesome. So let's talk about Opinel. If you have any Opinel lives, what has been your experience? Do you carry one? Do you just keep it for picnics and stuff? Because this is the perfect picnic knife. So let's talk about the wonders of simple design and the Opinel company.